Okay, good afternoon to Miss Suhana and also to all the students in Women Online Learning. For today's session in the Introduction to Corporate Communication, we're very honored to have Miss Suhana and as our distinguished lecturer from the Multimedia University, Malaysia, Cyberjaya, from Selangor. And I will explain to all of you about her CV. Right now, Ms. Suhana is a Deputy Dean of Academic and International Relations, and she's a distinguished professional with a master's in communication from the University Sains Malaysia, and she also holds bachelor degree in mass communication from University Teknologi Mara. She also have almost 2 decades of dynamic experience to the field of PR and strategic communication. So she's very well experienced. And without further ado, please welcome Miss Suhana. We can give Miss Suhana our reaction, the clapping reaction, all the thumbs up reactions. And Miss Suhana, the time is yours. Please enlighten us with your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Pak Vin, for the introductions. Saya bisa bercakap dalam bahasa Inggeris dan juga bahasa Malaysia ya throughout kita punya kelas pada hari ini. Terlebih dahulu saya ingin mengucapkan selamat sore ya di Indonesia petang biasanya selamat sore ya. Okay, so selamat sore kepada semua teman-teman di virtual class pada hari ini. For those who is still driving back to your sweet home, sila berhati-hati memandu. Dan juga siapa yang masih berada di stesen tempat bekerja, saya akan cuba untuk berkongsi sedikit sebanyak case study, especially on the corporate reputations. Saya ingin share slide saya terlebih dahulu. Boleh dilihat slide-nya?
Yes, Miss Suhana, it's already
Okay,
on the screen.
All right, okay. So today we're going to talk about the overview of factors that influence corporate reputation in Malaysia. So for today, I will share 2 case studies. The one from the Malaysian airline. I'm sure that everybody know about the news of the MH370 and MH17. And the other one is the top gloves. Yeah, so one of the company that produce the hand glove, and they have some issues during the COVID-19. Yeah, so let's walk through the presentations. Okay, basically, what are the key factors normally influence our corporate reputation in Malaysia? So we have divided into these 3 elements, yeah. The first one is governance, yeah. Governance ataupun government basically is all about the right and wrong when we solve the issues, when we solve the crisis communication. So we have to follow the law that we have in Malaysia, the ethical value in each of the organizations that we have or created by the organizations. So that's what we call it governance. And the second one is the transparency. Whenever we're having the issues, so we have to report to the public. Yeah? And also in Malaysia, dan saya juga percaya in Indonesia, setiap tahun, most of the organization, kita akan keluarkan annual report ataupun report tahunan. So bila kita keluarkan report tahunan, basically it has to be transparent, yeah. So we have to tell what are the activities of the organizations, and also in terms of profit or loss. So we also have to share with the stakeholders. Transparency is not about the company that related to the stakeholders, which is customer, but we also have investor. Yeah, so the investor, this is important for us to tell the investor the profit and loss of the organization. So the investor, basically, they have share in that particular organization, so they have right to know about the where their money goes. Yeah, so di mana dibelanjakan wang yang telah diinvest di organization tersebut. Dan yang ketiga, about public perception. Apa yang dilihat oleh orang ramai, especially the stakeholders, the customers, the investors, if we have clients, for example. So apakah persepsi mereka terhadap organisasi? So that's what we call perception. So in Malaysia, basically these are the three areas that we always look into it whenever we do the exercise for the corporate reputations. Yeah. All right. Okay, just to give a brief definitions about corporate governance in roles of the corporate reputation. So basically, corporate governance refers to the structures. So, dalam organisasi, basically kita ada structures. Kita ada top management, kita ada board members, which is also include in the top management. Kita ada management dan kita ada juga department di setiap organisasi, ya, termasuk corporate communications department. And di bawah corporate communications department, basically we have another unit. So that's what we call it, the structures in the organizations, ya. Kita juga ada policies. Policies meaning to say those created by organizations that we have to follow the certain policies. For example, semua para karyawan yang berada di dalam platform virtual ataupun online, di setiap organisasi masing-masing, anda mempunyai policies yang perlu anda patuhi. Ini termasuk juga policies di bawah unit corporate communications. Whenever you want to publish the statement, whenever you want to give an info to the stakeholder, what are the policies that you should follow? What are the do's and don'ts that you should follow whenever you publish a statement? Yeah, because you already set the policy. Yeah, and also the practices in an organization that ensure accountability. Yeah? Any single cent that we spend in our organizations, we have to audit, for example. We have to give a clear report of the expenses, what are the profit, what are the loss in the investment in that particular organizations. And it should be fairness, mestilah adil, and transparency, like what I have mentioned earlier. Whenever we give the information, especially to our stakeholders, it has to be transparent. We cannot hide any information which the public need to know, which the customers need to know. Yeah, so this is what we are looking into it in most of the organizations in Malaysia. We are looking into the relationships with the stakeholders. When we learn brand, for example, yeah, in one of the Carroll's model brand management, we always mention about the relationships between the organization and the stakeholder, ya. Apa hubungan di antara organisasi dan juga stakeholder, ya. Ini sangat penting, ya. Hubungan di antara stakeholder dan organisasi perlu dipandang berat, ya. Perlu diambil perhatian kerana stakeholders adalah tulang belakang kepada setiap organisasi. So relationship is very important. Okay. All right. So why is it matters? Malaysia, the three areas that I have been mentioned earlier, why is it matters to take or to give full attention to these three areas? Because we wanted to ensure the ethical decision making. Yeah. Setiap apa yang ataupun statement yang kita release kepada stakeholder, it has to be the ethical decision. We have to follow the policies. So in the earlier slide, I did mention about the policies. So from these policies, we have to follow in an ethical manner. There's some, for example, some sensitive words that we can use whenever we give a statement. So we have to follow that. In Malaysia and also in Indonesia, kita mempunyai undang-undang dan undang-undang tersebut govern the organizations, meaning to say that we have to follow. When we establish a company, it's either in Malaysia or Indonesia, basically we have to follow the policy. So when we follow the policy, so this is where the ethical decision making coming in. Yeah. And the next one, just now in my previous slide, we talk about relationships. Yeah. So relationships between the organizations and the stakeholder, basically it will help us to build long-term trust with stakeholders. Trust is very important. Yeah, when we practice PR, when we practice corporate communication, so the trust is the main thing that we need to highlight so that our stakeholder trust our organizations. Yeah, they should trust our product. Some of the customers, they've been loyal to our product for 15 years or for 20 years, for example. Yeah. Take an example. I know that the toothpaste, for example, the toothpaste um, uh, in Malaysia, we have under Unilever, which is Colgate. Yeah. Some of us, we are the loyal customer to this brand, like 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years, 30 years. Yeah. Because we trust the product. Yeah. It's from our parents, yeah, until to new generation. So we still using this product because we trust the product. All right. Okay. Okay, I give an example, yeah, of the companies, yeah, when we talk about the governance and when we talk about the regulations and governance standards, yeah. I'm sure that everyone, semua orang di sini pernah dengar our oil and gas company in Malaysia, which is Petronas. So Petronas merupakan government link company, ya. So company yang dimiliki oleh kerajaan, ya. So that's why we call it the government link company. So Petronas basically they focus on governance, ya. Because organizations di bawah kerajaan biasanya dia akan mengikuti setiap regulations yang bentuk ataupun policy yang dihasilkan oleh kerajaan. So that is the reason why Petronas focusing on the governance. And begitu juga dengan Bursa Saham Malaysia, yeah, the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange. So basically they are following the regulations and the government standards. Yeah, so this is a two organizations basically which I can that clearly practicing the governance and also the regulations and governance standards in Malaysia. Yeah. You can interrupt me if you have any questions. Yeah, if you need further clarifications before I move to the other slides. Yeah, so if you don't understand, so you can stop me and ask the questions, right? Okay.
Thank you, Miss Suhana. Maybe I will also encourage all the student in bahasa. Teman-teman, ayo jangan ragu untuk bertanya. Di sini sudah ada the expert from Malaysia, Miss Suhana, ready to answer all of your question. This is a very ini momen yang sangat baik banget gitu untuk kita semua, teman-teman. Kita belajar langsung dari expertnya, ahlinya. Jadi jangan takut untuk bertanya, jangan ragu-ragu. Boleh langsung open mic atau kirimkan pertanyaan via chat. In the meantime, maybe it's best to go along with your presentation, Miss Suhana. Is that okay for you?
Okay. All right, sure. Okay, so let's move to the other example. So let me I have issues of the popping message here. Let me clear the message first. Wait, let me stop the sharing first because I'm not so sure why is this happening. Okay.
No
share.
problem. No problem, Miss Suhana.
Okay. Right. So next we move to the transparency. Yeah, the one of the three areas just now. For example, Maybank. So Maybank basically adalah sebuah banking industry ya yang berada di Malaysia. I think the Maybank also they have a branch here in Indonesia ya. So basically Maybank commitment always talk about the transparency, financial reporting and disclosure. And again, the reporting basically they will have it once a year in the annual report. Yeah, so this is how they will tell their stakeholders, especially their customers, yeah, their investors. So this is the business, yeah, a year business, and then when they close that year business, then they will have the report what is going on from January to December, for example. So they will put everything in all the annual report. It's not only focus on the business, but most of the organizations in Malaysia, basically they will come up with the corporate social responsibility ataupun dalam masa sekarang sustainability begitu meluas dikatakan bukan sahaja di Malaysia tetapi juga di Indonesia where we are focusing on the 17 SDG goals, yeah. So it's the same thing. The reporting is very important to show transparency to the customers. Okay, all right. The next one, I want to touch on the public perceptions. Ya, sebelum kita pergi kepada case study, mungkin case study memberi gambaran yang lebih jelas ataupun lebih detail. Tapi saya akan sentuh sedikit berkenaan dengan public perception. Ya, pandangan public terhadap organisation. Ya, mereka merupakan external influencer. Ya, kita punya customers in any brand, for example, or the clients of the organization. So basically, mereka merupakan external influencer. Okay, right. So public perceptions basically refer to how the public views about our organisation. Ya, pandangan mereka terhadap organisasi kita. Adakah pandangan daripada luar tampak organisasi kita bagus, ataupun organisasi kita tidak bagus kerana tidak memberi statement ataupun tidak memberi pengetahuan yang jelas about organisasi tersebut, ya, itu adalah pandangan publik terhadap organisasi, ya. Selalunya mereka mendapat informasi-informasi yang meluas, terutamanya di zaman sekarang. Kita ada Instagram, kita ada TikTok, kita ada media, online media contohnya, dan juga word of mouth. Ya, so mereka bercakap berkenaan dengan organisasi kita. Dan kita sendiri mempunyai brand engagement dengan organisasi tersebut, ya, melalui social media platform, for example. Bila kita melihat mereka melalui social media, basically kita akan bagi perceptions terhadap organisasi tersebut. So that's what we call it public perception. Yeah, we are the external influencer of each of the organizations that we have in our country. Okay, right. So there are three drivers, yeah, that I have already mentioned. So that's what we call it drivers, which influence the public perception. So bila kita ada ataupun kita the corporate communication department, for example, so we have to take these three drivers, especially in Malaysia. This is what the areas that we always covers, where we really taking care of the media coverage. Yeah. So the media coverage basically it will give a good reputation or the bad reputation to your organization. Sama ada mereka memberi reputasi yang baik ataupun reputasi yang tidak baik terhadap organisasi kita. So dalam erti kata lain, tadi kita telah sebut berkenaan dengan governance, ya, kita sebut berkenaan dengan transparency. So any informasi yang kita bagi tahu kepada stakeholder, okay, melalui media, mestilah kita mengharapkan satu persepsi yang bagus, ya, sebab kita ingin jadikan media coverage ini sebagai tools ataupun sebagai platform untuk menyampaikan apa yang organisasi kita mahu dilihat di semua mata stakeholders, ya. And also the social media activity and online reviews. Okay, especially for the companies that produce product, like what I mentioned, the Unilever that produce Colgate, for example, or Nestle that produce Milo, Kit Kat, and any other brands. Yeah, so we wanted to have a good review, for example. So when you produce or advertise, yeah, all this product in your social media platform, basically you wanted to have a good reviews of your product. Why do we want to have a good reviews? Because we want this product to stay long in our organizations, and also the products will establish a long-term or build a long-term relationships between the customer and the organization. So this is very important. Yeah, the key drivers number 2. And the key drivers number 3, so it is all about customer experience and feedback. So when people use our product, for example, you go to the bank, kita pergi ke bank, kita ingin membuat aktiviti di bank, contohnya untuk menyimpan wang ataupun mengeluarkan wang ataupun membuat loan, ya, untuk purchase kenderaan ataupun membuat loan untuk purchase your dream homes, for example. So we will experience that. How do the staff in the bank treat us? Adakah bagus? Adakah mereka just layan kita sederhana kerana kita tidak mempunyai jawatan yang tinggi, contohnya, ya. So this experience sometimes will give a good or bad feedback to organization. So as a corporate communications practitioner, we need to make sure that, yeah, the customer experience or the customer's feedback, yeah, on social media or any other media platform must be good, yeah. Again, we want to have a good image, yeah, or the good reputation towards our stakeholders, yeah. So like what I mentioned earlier, the 3 key drivers, yeah, that we as a corporate communication practitioner always taking care, yeah, because we don't want our customer having a bad experience with our product. There's a lot of cases actually happen, yeah. Some of the customers, they are not satisfied in using our product, then they will give a good feedback, yeah. For example, you going for holiday, anda semua nak pergi liburan, book hotel, for example, tapi semasa proses untuk booking hotel, anda mempunyai experience yang tidak baik. Mungkin the customer service tidak melayani, ya, permintaan anda, pertanyaan anda. Jadi anda mempunyai experience yang bad. So bila anda mempunyai experience yang tidak baik, selalunya kita ada review, ya, TripSorder, for example, and some other reviews platform that we will write down. Okay, how many star, berapa bintang yang kita perlu bagi kepada hotel ini. Mungkin anda akan bagi 2 rating sebab customer service tidak bagus. Jadi itu dirangkumi di dalam customer experience and feedback. Okay. Alright. The next one, which I will later the case study on the top gloves. I did mention about top glove earlier. So during the pandemic, it was heated badly, yeah, from the public. So the public kebanyakannya mengkritik top glove, yeah, during the pandemic because of the labor issue, yeah, atau karyawan yang bekerja di productions, ya. Semasa pandemik, tahu that kebanyakan organisasi, especially the health organization, contohnya hospital and some health organization, mereka memerlukan sarung tangan during the pandemic, yeah. So because we have to protect ourselves, yeah, in order for us to treat the patients. So the demand of the gloves is quite high at that time. And Top Glove basically is the well-known and the biggest factory that produce the hand glove. So they have the issue of the labor because in terms of working hours, they ask the laborers to work beyond their working hours to make sure that they produce enough hand gloves at that time, yeah. So it gave a very bad public image, yeah. But when they have more workers and the workers work beyond their working hours, so there's a lot of COVID issues in that factory, yeah. Many of the workers, they were affected by the COVID at that time, yeah. So it like benda tu orang kata apa, bersambung-sambung bila anda mempunyai ramai pekerja dan anda tidak menjaga apa panggil jarak ya di antara pekerja. So masa itu kebanyakan pekerja mereka telah didiagnose dengan COVID-19. So because of this, Top Glow basically get or receive a very bad comment. The netizen bash the organization because of these issues, yeah. So it gave a very bad image to that particular organizations, yeah. And because of this issue, so company ini menangani ya this issue dengan come up with the sustainability project, yeah, which I will share later on, yeah. So this is how some of the organization bila mereka menerima sesuatu yang tidak baik, especially ya untuk image organisasi tersebut, mereka akan membuat sesuatu untuk gain back the good image of that organizations, yeah. Okay. So these are the context, yeah, of these situations, yeah, during COVID-19. So Top Glow faced labor-related criticism, especially from, we call it netizen in Malaysia, yeah, for those who love to comment on the TikTok, those who comment on the Facebook or Instagram, so we call it netizen. So these netizen basically mereka seperti berjemaah beramai-ramai mengkritik organisasi tersebut, ya. First, seperti yang saya maklumkan tadi, poor working conditions, ya. Mereka beramai-ramai di dalam satu factory, ya, duduk beramai tanpa mempunyai jarak semasa COVID-19, dan juga hasil daripada ini telah menyebabkan the COVID outbreak among the workers in that particular factories, yeah. So the impact of this situation or these issues, so this become the crisis communication. So because of this issue, it damaged the public perception toward Top Glove, and also Top Glove basically telah disaman, ya, berkenaan dengan isu ini. Kerana di Malaysia semasa COVID, kita telah menghasilkan satu SOP, Standard Operating Procedures, ya. So di mana mereka perlu mengikuti, ya, Standard Operations Procedures bila mereka bekerja, ya. So mesti kena ada jarak, mesti kena ada beberapa orang karyawan sahaja yang perlu berada di stesen tersebut. Tetapi sebaliknya, Top Glove telah menghimpun ramai karyawan di dalam factory tersebut, ya. So mereka kena saman oleh regulatory, ya, dan juga mereka hilang confidence daripada investor, yeah. So investor at that time, they said that, oh, the company is not following a good policies, is not following the good structures of the organizations. So we basically lost our confidence towards that organizations, yeah. And because of this crisis communication, so basically the Top Gloves, they come up with the recovery program, yeah, because we wanted to rebuild the organization's image, yeah, after the crisis. Okay. So far semua okay, semua bagus,
I think they
all good.
still, yeah, only listening. But in the meantime,
Okay,
oh
alright.
yeah, thank you, Ayu Rizky. Yes, miss, all good. Thank you for your comments. Okay, regarding this issue over here, this case study, uh, could I ask you a question, a follow-up question, Miss Suhana?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, thank you. It's very interesting about the top glove situation. Could you give us a more elaborative explanation about what corporate communication strategies that they do to creating or recreate their good image?
Okay. So I off my video for a while because I think
Yeah.
there is still that lady.
Okay,
uh
okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I will walk through, yeah, the case study of the Top Glove, yeah. Let me recap again, yeah. Top
Yep.
Glove basically is the world largest rubber glove manufacturer in Malaysia. So basically, just now I did just about crisis. So this is what we call it the reputation crisis, yeah, during the COVID-19 through the allegations of labor violations, poor working condition, yeah. So mereka mempunyai ramai pekerja tetapi mereka telah violate di kebebasan bekerja setiap para karyawannya di mana mereka telah melebihkan time mereka bekerja. Contohnya dalam satu-satu masa karyawan hanya perlu bekerja dalam masa 8 jam tetapi mereka telah menambah 4 jam. So jadi mereka terpaksa bekerja 12 jam. So bila berada di dalam keadaan COVID, ya, so everybody macam di expose of this outbreak. So condition ini amatlah tidak bagus dan memberi efek yang sangat besar kepada pekerja, ya. So the key challenges, ya, during this outbreak. So basically, the treatment, especially of the migrant workers, ya, mereka mengimport ramai pekerja-pekerja asing, ya, untuk bekerja pada waktu ini kerana mereka tahu karyawan yang mereka ada tidak dapat memenuhi permintaan, so mereka start ataupun memulakan untuk import para pekerja. So bila keadaan ini berlaku, itu adalah leading kepada investigation di mana authority mendapat tahu bahawa company ini mengimport pekerja yang tidak sepatutnya di waktu pandemik. So news tersebut sudah bertebaran di media sosial, ya. The netizens start bash the company. They keep on talking about the migrant. They ask the authorizations to check adakah mereka ini semua mempunyai permit. So di sinilah berpuncanya mereka disaman oleh pihak Immigration Malaysia kerana membawa pekerja tanpa permit. Dan stock market ketika itu kita dapat lihat is going down, yeah, the share is also going down, and then because the company sudah kena fine oleh authority, so ramai the investor mereka tidak mempunyai keyakinan, ya, kepada situasi ini, and some of the investor they are pull out, yeah, instead of invest in this company, and some they pulling out, they don't want to have their market share in these organizations. Okay, and what are the key strategies? The action plan after this crisis, after telah dikenakan saman oleh pihak berkuasa. So Top Glove telah mengambil langkah-langkah ataupun strategi untuk recover crisis communications, ya. And langkah pertama, Top Glove mengaku mereka telah mengadakan satu public statement. They have the press conference, and then Top Glove acknowledge, yeah, the allegation, and they committed to improving working conditions. Mereka mengaku kesilapan mereka Yeah, and then they start to launch the internal review and engage external auditors to assess their labor practice. Mereka membawa external reviewer, which is audit, untuk masuk ke dalam perusahaan mereka dan melakukan audit. Sama ada karyawan yang mereka ada di dalam perusahaan itu adakah mematuhi labor practice, ya. Biasanya di bawah Human Resource Department, when you recruit the people, so you need to have the labor practice. Okay. Bila Top Glove mengaku dan mengubah cara bekerja dan mereka mengambil external stakeholder to come and audit, ya. And langkah kedua yang diambil oleh the company, investment in worker welfare, yeah. So the company start invest in worker welfare program, ya. Mereka memberi perumahan ataupun hostel tempat tinggal para pekerja. Mereka juga mengambil berat tentang healthcare dan mereka juga memberi training, ya, kepada employees, ya. Just now we talk about the labor practice, and training basically is part of the labor practice yang mereka berikan kepada para pekerja, ya. So they also implement a zero tolerance policy for any form of discrimination of harassment, ya. So anything with regards to any unprofessional practice or activities, ya, di kalangan karyawan. Jika ini berlaku dan jika mereka mengetahui keadaan ini, so mereka akan mengambil tindakan terhadap karyawan tersebut, ya. And the next one, when we talk about communications, yeah, in corporate communications, when we deal with the crisis communication is very important, yeah. So Top Glove improve its communication strategy by being more transparent, ya. Slide sebelum kita telah melihat 3 area, ya. The transparency is one of that. Jadi Top Glove mengambil langkah ini untuk menjadi lebih transparent, ya, about perusahaan mereka, ya, the operation, the progress in addressing labor issues. Mereka lebih terbuka, mereka menjawab setiap pertanyaan, khususnya di media platform, ya. So the online media platform, mereka menyediakan seorang pegawai untuk menjawab setiap pertanyaan, ya, ataupun di most of the online platform, the netizen comment, and then they will have a people to answer to the comments, ya. And they always share update with the stakeholder through the press release and social media platform, ya. Mereka senantiasa mengadakan ataupun mengeluarkan press statement, ya, kepada stakeholder dan juga informasi-informasi berkenaan dengan perusahaan mereka di media-media sosial. So bermula daripada situ, netizen ataupun the stakeholder telah nampak yang Top Glove telah mengambil langkah-langkah ataupun inisiatif untuk menceritakan perihal perusahaan mereka, khususnya, ya, the labor practices, ya, because ini sangat penting. Isu ini terjadi because of the labor practices. Jadi mereka telah mengeluarkan cerita-cerita yang bagus berkenaan dengan para karyawan di perusahaan mereka menerusi media massa. Jadi bukan itu saja, ya. Kita boleh tengok that Top Glove reputations yang mereka hadapi, ya, the bad reputations. Basically, apa yang ingin saya katakan di sini, bila company menghadapi situasi ini, kita sebagai corporate communication practitioner perlu mengambil proactive measurement, ya. We collect the informations, we do the environmental scanning to make sure that, yeah, whatever the people comment about our organization, we need to improve the service, yeah. So the transparency, ya, bila kita memberitahu langkah-langkah yang kita ambil untuk melindungi para karyawan dan juga untuk melindungi tempat kerja para karyawan, basically akan membantu organisasi untuk rebuild kembali ya, untuk menaikkan kembali image. Okay. So dalam masa yang sama, the practices that has been done by the Top Glove is also regain the investor confidence. Yeah, even though at that time the challenges to remain ataupun untuk menaikkan kembali image, especially during the academic, during the COVID situations amatlah sukar ya, sebab batasan terutamanya media coverage tidak boleh dilakukan di lokasi, hanya perlu dilakukan di media sosial. The press statement, releasing the press release, tidak boleh mengadakan press conference secara fizikal because of the COVID ya. So ini merupakan satu challenges ya kepada para karyawan di perusahaan tersebut untuk rebuild kembali ya. Tapi dalam tempoh yang singkat ya, Top Glove dapat menaikkan kembali in term of investment ya. So now the reputations of that organizations, I would say that is quite high. They have a very good investor nowadays, and we don't really hear about the labor issues anymore from that particular organizations. Yeah, so I would say that to rebuild the image is not only 1 year, bukan saja setahun. Kita memerlukan beberapa tahun ya untuk rebuild kembali our reputation ya. Seperti pepatah daripada Warren Buffett, beliau mengatakan untuk membina syarikat itu terpaksa ambil masa selama 20 tahun, tetapi untuk memusnahkan syarikat itu hanya perlu mengambil masa 5 minit. Then our reputation is going down to the drain. Yeah. So when we face any crisis, yeah, kita perlu mengambil langkah berjaga. And again, it has to back to the areas. Apakah practice yang dilakukan oleh organisasi yang perlu diambil untuk menaikkan kembali image kita. Okey, berbalik kepada soalan Pak Alvin sebentar tadi berkenaan dengan CSR. Okey. Betul Pak Alvin?
Yes, Miss. Yes. Is there
Berkenaan
any
dengan
like
CSR ya?
CSR yes? Is there any CSR
Okay.
program after in these cases, the violation?
Okay. So basically, I think I in one of the. Wait, let me see the slides. Yeah. Yeah, this is the CSR, yeah, the investment in worker welfare just now I did mention. They contribute back, ya, mereka kembalikan ini kepada pekerja mereka, ya. Bila karyawan mendapat housing ataupun tempat tinggal yang selesa, basically akan menaikkan productivity setiap karyawan, ya. So in terms of CSR, the worker welfare, basically they invest a lot in the housing, especially the hostel. Mereka memberi rawatan yang sepatutnya kepada those workers that diagnosed with COVID-19, and also the training. So these 3 areas, the CSR that they are focusing on, yeah. Meaning to say that when we talk about the CSR, yeah, so instead of giving back to the outsiders, sometimes the internal, the employee, yeah, also need to taking care of, yeah. So that is another approach of CSR activities that organizations can do in order to rebuild their reputations or their image in front of the public eyes, yeah. So Pak Alvin, ini yang dilakukan oleh Top Glove, yeah, instead of giving outside. When we talk about CS, sometimes we think about outside, right? For example, plant the trees or giving back to the underprivileged. But the Top Glove, basically, they are taking care of their employees, meaning to say that the internal internal comforts, yeah. So they're taking care about the welfare of their workers, right? Okay.
Miss Suhana, there is
Mm-hmm.
one student raised
Mm-hmm.
his hand. There is
Mm-hmm.
Gideon.
Okay.
Yes, Iswana, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So, how do you think the top 12 can really tell if their recovery strategies are working by looking at netizen comments, doing employee survey, or maybe some other way?
Actually, they take a look on from all angles. Yeah. Uh, During the COVID, especially the social media platform. Yeah. So like what I mentioned earlier, they assign social media personnel, yeah, to look into all the comment, especially on the social media platform like Instagram, TikTok. TikTok at that time is not really the share of the issues is not really high, but the Facebook and Instagram, these two platform is a very highly they receive comments from the public. Yeah. So from there they answer back, yeah, a certain question from the netizen. And the other thing, like what I mentioned, they release a lot of press statement, yeah, on their social media platform. Mentions what they have done to taking care of the karyawan, what they have done on the health factors, because when we talk about COVID at that time, it's all about the health crisis, yeah. So the mitigations of the health crisis, basically at that time, even all of us in Malaysia at that time, we are very afraid of this COVID-19. So we wanted to make sure that all parties really taking care of these the workers or the individual or the Malaysian. We really wanted to look that they have a very good health provider, especially to the workers. Yeah. Am I answering your questions?
Yes, but do you think, in general, monitoring social media feedback alone is enough to gauge the recovery strategy are successful or not? Because maybe there is, for example, the case is not raised in social media, but in the general communication. How about it?
Yes, monitoring on the social media alone is not enough. You have to look from other different angle as well. Yeah. For example, the challenge at the time, because of the COVID-19, yeah, the restrictions of the movement, we cannot really have a big press conference, for example, yeah. But they take a look, it's not only the social media, the printed media, the monitoring of the printed media is also one of the key factors, yeah, that help them to gather news, yeah. And also I did mention earlier, when they have the fine from the regulatory that come to their organizations, yeah, to check because they bring in the migrants, yeah. So there's a lot of perspective that we have to take into it. But as a corporate communication practitioner, you need to gather all informations and then you create your plan. The environmental scanning is very important. From any sources that you can trust, you can gather the informations and then you start to create your plan. Okay, not only the social media alone, yeah, from other information, the informations of the investor that wanted to pull out, yeah. So that is another process that you have to need to look into it, yeah. Uh, the law, the enforcement, that's another area or the avenue that you have to look into it. So you need to get all those informations you gather, and this is where they start to release the press release or the press statements to all the media industry. Okay.
Okay,
Any
noted,
other?
Miss.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Any other question?
Miss Suhana, there is also another question in the chat room.
Okay.
It came from Miss Berliana Krisnawati.
Okay. I
Uh,
have question. How about some large companies that have successfully built a very strong product reputation in the market, but consumers are more familiar with the product rather than the company itself? So such as Crocs brand, could this gap have a negative impact on the company in the long term? Okay. We talk about the brand engagement. Yeah. So the most importance of the organizations that our customer or the stakeholder have very good brand engagement. Okay, so the company, yes, yes. So in terms of policy, in terms of mission and visions, yeah, when we talk about corporate organizations, they wanted to see like in 10 years time, 10 years time, so where will Crocs aiming to? Yeah. So do they still want to have the same design like 10 years ago, or they wanted to have a new design, for example? Yeah. So in terms of I would say that just now you asked, do they care about the company or they would care about the brand, which is a crop? Okay. In terms of policy, in terms of the directions, the business directions, yes, it's all about the organization, yeah, where they have to strategize or plan, okay, what will be the brand achieve in 10 years time, yeah. But the most important thing, people will look into the brand engagement, yeah. Sometimes I'm not so sure in Indonesia, like in Malaysia, the noodles, the Maggi mee, yeah, people do not know where is the Maggi mee coming from. Maggi is one of the brand under Nestle, okay? But people in their mind or in their perceptions, Maggi, whatever the brand is either Indomie or uh what do we have, like Papa in Malaysia. Back in Malaysia we have this brand. They don't call it uh noodles, they call it Maggi. Yeah. So like Crocs also back in Malaysia, we also other brands that produce similar shoes like Crocs, but they didn't call it that particular brand, but they call it Crocs. Yeah. So most of the organizations, they would look into the brand engagement, okay, within the customer and also the brand. That's why when we do the promotions or when we do the campaign, yeah, when we wanted to evaluate or when we wanted to um um monitor how many people know about crops or how many people know about a certain brand. It's through the brand engagement. Yeah. So again, I would say that because your question just now about the familiarizations, product rather than company. Yeah. So it's the brand itself. Yeah. We are looking to the brand engagement. All right. It doesn't give any negative impact to the company. Okay, because they towards the end of the day they will realize that Crocs, okay, belong to this company. Like what I mentioned earlier, Maggi belong to Nestle until other brand also copycat, they call it Maggi. By right, they should call it instant noodle. Yeah. Am I answer your question, Berliana? Berliana Krishnawati. Is it okay?
Maybe Miss Berliana can
Okay.
give some reaction or okay, already she already answered in the
Yeah,
chat room.
okay.
And
Yeah, all right.
Miss
And I
Suhana,
have
there's
another
also another
question.
question. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so I have a question. Do you have sample of failure corporate communication? And then how is the impact of the organizations? Okay, I would like to share. In fact, I already shared this with in one of the crisis communications and issues management class last Friday. Okay, um, the case in 2022, the LRT, yeah, the incident of the LRT under Prasarana. Okay, so Prasarana is the company that own the transportations in Malaysia. They have LRT, they have bus, they also built the road, yeah. So one of the incident in 2022, when they do the test line between the line from Kelana Jaya and the other line from Ampang, and then there's a technical failure, so the train accident happened. Yeah. So during the train accidents, quite a number of people injured from that incident, and the start coming in, yeah, to ask the questions to this organization. What are the what are the insurance that you can give to treat the victims, yeah. It happened at that time, the chairman of this prasarana is a political personnel, yeah. So the appointment basically is appointed by one of the political party. And when the incident happened, they tried to get the chairman, because the chairman can only release the statement, yeah, of the incident. When they get this chairman, the chairman said that, oh, saya tidak boleh datang sebab saya sudah ada prior engagement, ya. So saya tidak boleh buat statement, dan tolong datang pada keesokan hari, in the next following day, dan saya akan bagi statement. And the corporate com at that time, they have the strategic communications department. They can't do anything except they have to wait until the next following day. Yeah, by right, when you face this crisis call, you have to issue the immediate release. Yeah, the press conference or the press statement need to be issued immediately. So the next following day, the reporters, they have the press conference, and the reporters are waiting for him to come. But at that morning, he went for the brisk walk. Okay, so dia pergi berjalan di waktu pagi, do some exercise, and the reporter keep on waiting until he comes to the press conference, and he said that in the public, yeah. He said, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm late because I go for the brisk walk and whatnot. And then the reporter keep on asking why you are not taking any immediate action to these issues. Yeah, because you have a victims. Yeah, the victims need the treatments, and you have to issue the statement and whatnot. And one of the Chinese reporters, actually is the international newspapers, and the Chinese reporters ask him questions about the incident. And then he get mad, and he asked that Chinese reporters, where are you coming from? Kamu datang daripada mana? Why your question is so harsh to me? Things like that, yeah. So from the strategic communication practices, we are the external parties. We look, this is the failure crisis communication issues that has been happened in Malaysia in that particular year. Yeah, so everybody keep on saying that this is a bad reputations of these organizations. Yeah, and 3 days after that, he was sacked by the Minister of Transport. Yeah, so they sacked him from that position. Yeah, because of the bad image and bad reputation to the country logistic or transportations. Yeah, so this is the bad, I would say that the bad crisis communication handling in Malaysia in that particular year. All right, okay, will that be okay with the question? Aisha Almira Zahra.
Aisha, please open mic or respond in the chat room. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I have another question from Ayu Rizki. I'm curious about how a concert promoter or event organizer can regain the trust of the public if an outdoor event is disrupted by unforeseen circumstances like heavy rain resulting in negative reviews. How can they restore their reputations? Okay. To answer to these questions, yeah, in Malaysia, most of the event organizer, they have to follow the policies, all right? For example, if you, I'm not so sure whether you have it, one of the issues of Coldplay, they have to get back the license, and they have to get out from the country because the incidents of, like the male and male kissing during the concert. All right. So the government immediately pull out the license, and they have to stop the what you call that, the concept, yeah, and have to get out from Malaysia. Okay. In terms of reputations, basically, when we as an event organizer, we have to follow the rules or the procedures that set by that particular country or government, yeah, like what I mentioned just now, the governance. Okay, the governance is very important for us to follow. So that is why these three areas are very important in Malaysia that we need to follow, right? So as an event organizer, okay, to make sure that you have a good reputations, yeah, in front of your clients or your public, so you have to make sure that you follow the policy. And when it comes to the raining, yeah, raining is also part of the risk management. Okay, so when the uh, you have to take to the account whenever you organize the concert, yeah, it's either during the open stage or in what you call that, in a big hall or auditorium, yeah. So you need to have a plan, okay, plan A and plan B, because when the crisis or the risk happen, yeah, heavy rain, for example, in Malaysia, October, November, or December, these 3 months is not a good time for us to have a concert in an open space. Yeah, especially in Genting Highlands. Yeah, basically they have a very big events area where they always bring all those singers from the international to perform. Yeah, so you have to take into this account. Yeah, the planning, early preliminary planning process is very important. Okay, so if let's say raining at that time, you need to have a plan B. Where should you move your concert from the open space to the right area? Okay, you have to identify that, right? So if let's say you still wanted to have the concert within these 3 months, for example, so you have to make sure that you have a proper cover area to make sure that your performers, so your the attendees, yeah, on that day, yeah, be covered from um hujan or something, yeah. So if you are the event planner, the planning process is very important. Do the environmental scanning first, yeah. Identify what will be the issue, and risk assessment basically is part of the event planning process, yeah, that we need to look into it, and we'll put it in our event planning process. All right. Okay. Would that be okay with the answer?
Yes, miss. So, but what if it already happened and the event organizer and promoter needs to gain people trust back? So, how to handle it?
Sorry, come again. I can't really clear your question clearly.
Okay. So, what if it already happened, the rain and the negative reviews? How
Mhm.
to gain people trust back?
You mean that if still this issue happen, right? That raining and
Yeah.
okay. Uh, Also we need to take into the account about the natural disaster. Okay. So some of the organization, when you purchase a ticket, then they will have the disclaimer. All right. So they will mention if anything happen, well, blah 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 blah. Okay, we are not responsible, blah blah blah. Okay. Rain basically is a natural disaster. We can't really stop this, yeah. But again, back to the planning process. We have to identify which is the best month for you to organize the concert in order to avoid this natural disaster happen, especially rain. But sometimes I would say that even though in Malaysia the monsoon is not really sometimes tak menentu, ya, selalu terjadi. Okay, again, you can do for the preparation, make sure you have the raining coat, yeah. So it has to include the raining coat to all the participants. Okay, because you know that, oh, this is the monsoon season, or 2 days or 3 days before your event, you already identify that, oh, every night there's a rain. And then you have to take the initiative, provide the raining coat. Yeah, that's another one of the solutions. Yeah, because when we talk about natural disaster, basically we can't really avoid. Okay. Um, I if you have all those proper preparations, I'm sure that people won't complain because they know that, or this is the raining season. Or some I know that some of the organizers organize the concert, they will stop for a while, yeah, to make sure that once the raining over, they will start again, yeah. But anything you have to put into the statement, yeah. Like just now I mentioned about the environmental scanning. So you already know that this is the raining season, but you still want to proceed and you have to take a proper step, okay, so that the people didn't complain. If you already give, for example, a raining code, for example, because you know that there's a raining season, I'm sure that the customer basically they won't complain. But proper place must be in place, yeah. So do the risk assessment first. If let's say if we still proceed with the concert, what will happen? Yeah, the risk assessment need to be in place in your planning process, the event planning process. Yeah, very important. Yeah, because we talk about the safety of the participants. Yeah, of the those who come for the concert. We have to think, yeah. Like in Malaysia, back in Malaysia, we always take the risk assessment. Safety and health should be part of the event planning process. Yes, because we don't want to bear some of the costs and whatnot. Yeah. And the other thing I can give tips for you. Let's say you are one of the event organizer, try to push the cost to the party. Okay. If raining, basically we will worry about our equipments. Yeah. Because all those equipments they are very expensive. What you can do to cover all those equipments and to cover any safety issues to an insurance company. Yeah. When we organize an event, because of course, when you organize an event, you don't want to lose, yeah, whatever the profit that you have, but still can shift to the third party, which we get the insurance coverage, yeah, for the equipments and whatnot. Yeah. So that is another risk assessment elements that we need to have, yeah, to cover or to take the precautions so that if anything happen, so we still have a backup. Yeah, so that's just a little bit of I would say that based on my experience in organizing an event, yeah. So we try to push our cost to the third party. Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Hannah.
Okay, welcome. Is there any other question? Oh, most of the Indonesian are very superstitious, and for insurance, they hire rain shamans. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know that Indonesia will always do that as well. Yeah, they trust in all these people, but you have to remember one thing, the cost. Okay, don't want to lose the cost. Yes, we can hire like the rain shamans and whatnot, but what about the cost later on? Yeah, so we have to take early steps, yeah. Rather than bear a lot of costs of the concert because of the rain, we lost some of the profit. So might as well we shift to the third party, okay, to cover some of the costs. All right. So thank you for the comments. Sometimes they you know that chili, they just tanam the chili somewhere to make sure that there's no rain coming during the concert. Okay. All right, any more questions? I wanted to share one of the case study, the Malaysian airline. Okay. So I think I will move to the next slide. Okay. Another case study of the Malaysian airline response to the crisis. So because these are two incidents, the two issues, yeah, of the MH370 in March 2014 and the downing of flight MH17, yeah, in July 2014, yeah. So at that time, basically, Mars is already been struggling financials um at that time, ya. So and ditambahkan juga dengan kejadian ataupun krisis MH317 which has which has yet to be found until today, yeah. But the MH17 is a very straightforward issues, yeah. So basically, these two crises is really test the management, the organization of the Malaysian airline system, yeah, because they've been attacking by the global media, from the government and the public, due to the high profile nature of both tragedies. Yeah, so this is a very good I would say that the case study crisis for the airlines in Malaysia. Yeah? So the key challenges that they facing, yeah, just to give you some information, Malaysian airline system dipunyai oleh satu organisation which is Khazanah Malaysia. Yeah, Khazanah Malaysia is the main shareholder of this Malaysian airline system, and now they already changed their name to MAG, Malaysian Airlines Group. Okay, so but the brand of Malaysian airline is still there, but the name of the organizations is already changed to Malaysian Airline Group, right? So the key challenges at that time is all about the public and stakeholder trust. Yeah, so the airline face declining public confidence. Yeah, they lost a lot, quite a number of people cancel their booking. They don't really trust the Malaysian airlines. Yeah, also the families and the victims, the passengers of the public, basically they criticize, yeah, this airline because they are not handling the communication crisis response immediately. Yeah, this is the first time happened in Malaysia. Yeah, the missing of the flight, and also the uh downing of the MH17. Yeah, so we never faced these issues before, so that's why the feedback, the response is take some times for them to give feedback. The families all quite worried. They contacted this airline, and criticism from the public through the social media and whatnot is very huge at that time in Malaysia. Yeah, so media scrutiny, international and local media, basically they cover both tragedies and they put mass under the global spotlight. Yeah, so the most of the international media, they come and station in one of the hotels nearby the KLIA, which is hotel Summer. Yeah, the name of the hotel is Hotel Summer. So that is the operation center for the media. Yeah, so in corporate communication, whenever the crisis happen, we need to have the operations rooms. Okay, so the operations room is where for you to get the informations, the coming in information, and also you use that room to release the informations. Yeah, the operation is very important. Yeah, to be set up whenever the crisis happen. Right. So the group of corporate communications of the Malaysian Airlines, so they're handling all this negative publicity, and at the same time, they have to maintain transparency. Yeah. So I would say that it's a very hard time for the corporate com group, yeah, with the Malaysian Airline, because they have to entertain the public, which is the family of the victims, and at the same time, the report to the government. Yeah. What are the langkah-langkah yang diambil, ya, untuk report kepada Ministry of Transport. Yeah, so there's also the government involvement. Yeah, since that the Malaysian Airline basically a national carrier in Malaysia, so basically Khazanah is also one of the government link companies in Malaysia. Yeah, so they have a significant government ties, yeah, with between the Malaysian Airline and the government. And I think the second day or third day, I can't really remember, we can see that the government come in and step in. Yeah, the government come and help to do all those statement, release the statement, talking about the crisis and also the finance that they have to inject into this crisis to ensure that they handle the crisis properly. Yeah, because the family and the public keep on harassing, yeah, the Malaysian airline and government at that time. Yeah, okay. the corporate strategies, corporate reputation strategies that has been taken, by the Malaysian airlines at that time, they talk about the transparency and empathy. So must basically implement the strategies to communicate consistently with the public and the families of the victims. From their ops room at the Hotel Sama-Sama. So basically, they will use this as the hub of the information. The family can come, get the informations directly from this operations room. Of course, there will be a communication delay with the MH370. The immediate response, is not coming in. So that is why the people or netizen criticize the communications effort in the early stage of the crisis communications. Once the government step in, and helping the Malaysian airline, so basically they improve, the communication, the transparency, and they also show some empathy in most of the communications. When they release the story, basically they have the elements of I'm not so sure whether you have learned about the ethos, the pathos. So this kind of message, when we release, sometimes it will melt down some of the people when we read this message. Instead of give the very harsh message, to the public. So some of the approach in terms of storytelling, in terms of the empathy message, sometimes it will help the organizations to get sympathy from the public. And this is what the Malaysian airline always share, the press release, the press statement, to help them to rebuild trust to the organizations. Okay. Right. The next step, basically, during the process of the crisis communication management, rebranding and restructuring, where on the brand recovery, they manage the financial and reputational impact. So they went a major rebranding. After crisis. I'm talking this after the crisis, and this restructured. The organizations, and also the Malaysian government stepped in to nationalize the company under the Khazanah Nasional. So the Khazanah invests. Or the biggest shareholders. Of the Malaysian airline, they come in to do the brand recovery. Because of the bad reputation, because of the loss of trust for the Malaysian airline. Basically, we need to do the brand recovery. In most of the organization, when the crisis happen, so if it is a bad crisis like the Malaysian airline, so the brand recovery is the next step that we need to do, right? And at that time, they also launched the recovery plan. For example, they said that they are going to reduce costs, they are going to improve operation, and they also re-establishing the brand image. So that is why just now I did mentions about the change of name. They also change of the color of the what you call that, the color of the brand of the Malaysian airline. Like previously, you can see the red and blue, dark blue. Um, but under AG, the Malaysian Airline Group, now they have changed color to all totally dark blue and the light blue. So that is the what they have done for the brand recovery. At that time also, they have a change of the leaderships. They appoint one of the CEO, which is a Christoph Mueller. He was tasked to restructuring the airline, and also to improve the financial and operational performance. So this is what they did, for the brand recovery, to change the leaderships, and also the community and stakeholder engagement. So after the incident, basically they engage a lot with the teams and family. So they even, like what I mentioned, they set up the support center or the operation room for the families and the victims to continuously engage with them. They will get the informations. They will, that during the MH370 missing, it took like few months for them to engage, yeah, with the Malaysian airline to know what is the status, what is the status, what is the status, yeah. So this is where they provide, yeah, to the family. They even support some of the financial, especially for the families who come outside Klang Valley, yeah. And also they collaborate, okay, and code share agreement, yeah. So they enter into the code share agreement. So basically, most of the airline, they are alliance with other airlines, yeah, throughout the world, yeah. So this is what MAS did. They have the code share agreement with other airlines to improve its international reputations and rebuild customer confidence, yeah. When you have the code share, basically, let's say Malaysia Airline and KLM, yeah. So when they have this code share, so basically it's either the customer will fly with the KLM, yeah, or they have the code share with the Cathay Pacific. So the customer will fly with Cathay Pacific, but originally it's also the same airlines with the Malaysian airline, yeah. So this is what the collaboration that they have done during after the crisis, right? On the operational enhancements, basically they start to improve on the safety. Yeah, the MH30, yeah, is some of the netizen or some people in Malaysia that this is the failure, yeah, in terms of safety, yeah, because there's no thorough check where is the plane goes and whatnot, yeah. So after the incident, so they start improve this, so they focus on enhancing the safety procedures, yeah, improving the internal operation, to make sure that all the operations is reliable, yeah. They do all those checking, very strict checking, yeah, especially for the passengers before they enter the planes, and they have all those safety operations, yeah. Because they wanted to make sure that whoever the customer who fly with the Malaysian airline, they will ensure their safety, yeah, for all those customers, right? Okay, in terms of corporate social responsibility, okay, in any crisis, yeah, it doesn't matter is you work with the airlines or you work with the event management or you work with the government, hotel industry and whatnot. Corporate social responsibility is a very good reputation that you will get, yeah, whenever the crisis happen. And this is a very easiest way for the company to do this, yeah. So the Malaysian airline also made an effort to enhance the CSR activities, yeah. So they give the commitment to the sustainability and community engagement. They involve in planting trees. They involve in helping unfortunate children, yeah, for the community engagement. So they have all those activities, yeah, like during the festive season, especially the Lebaran. So basically they will help the unfortunate children buying the baju raya, give duit raya for all those children, yeah. And this part of the CSR that they have done for the community engagement, yeah. So with this, you come up with a story, you come up with the news, yeah, to improve the public perceptions, yeah, towards the airlines. And people will say that the people, just now we mentioned about the feedback and engagement, right, in our previous slide. So this is basically what we wanted to have, yeah, the feedback and also the engagement. Of course, when you have this, people will look good to your organization because you are helping the needy, for example, or you taking care of the environment, yeah, like the planting tree or whatnot, yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, CSR is a very good way, yeah, in Malaysia. This is a very good way for us to gain a good publicity or public perceptions from the public, right? So the outcome of this case study, I would say that the brand recovery at that time is really, really slow and challenging, but Malaysian airline has regained some degree of trust among its passenger, yeah. Start very slowly until the government have to step in, but they keep on improving the communications, yeah. And also at the organization side, they restructuring, they improve the performance, operation performance, and also enhance the safety and CSR, yeah. So this area that they have done basically gain a good publicity or the public trust to the Malaysian airline. Yeah? So that is what now you can see that the Malaysian airline is still continue, yeah, to operate in the competitive market, even though during the during the crisis, they also having some issues of the financials, yeah, and followed by the crisis, yeah, it will give more challenge to them. But slowly they regain back the reputations of the organizations, yeah. Okay, for the case study of the Malaysian airline basically is highlight how well-known brand can be significantly impacted by unexpected crisis, yeah. So Malaysian airline has been in Malaysia like many years, berpuluh-puluh tahun berada di Malaysia, but somehow rather how good you plan or you taking care of your brand, somehow rather the crisis might happen because we can't control that, yeah. Like the Warren Buffett said that 20 years you build your reputation, it's like 5 minutes. Like this case, the reputation just gone like that, yeah. So um the strategic communications and the thoughtful approach must be in place, yeah. We as a corporate communication, we have to make sure that we have a good strategy, good approach for us to regain back the image, yeah. Reputation management is very important. It's either you structuring, during the COVID especially, you can see that lots of company they reduce staff because they have to do restructuring. They have to look into the best approach or the best operations that they can offer to their stakeholders, yeah. So again, I would say that reputation management is very important for us to mitigate long-term damage, yeah. Even though your country, your organizations established 50 years, but if you don't have a very good reputation management, that's it. You won't have a good long-term trust, long-term image, and long-term reputations within your stakeholders. Yeah. So I think with that, this is the last slide for me. Oh, okay, I still have the lesson learned from this Malaysian airline case study. What we have to focus, effective crisis communications. Yeah. Go back to the previous slide. Transparent is very important. Communications timely is very important, and empathetic communication is critical during a crisis communication. Yeah. So as a good corporate communication practitioner, so we have to make sure that we have this effective crisis communications. Yeah. The delay of the informations, yeah, the confusions of the informations, basically will make our public anger. Why you don't release the information? Our family members is missing. So why don't you release the informations? What are they? What are the status? Yeah. So that is very important. Yeah. Effective crisis communication. And then next one is branding and restructuring. So we need to have a clear strategy for restructuring and repositioning. The brand is crucial, yeah, for recovery. So we already discussed that. Must already overhaul, yeah, the operations. They change the leaderships and they have the financial structure to make sure that they survive and gain the trust from the public. And the last part is the stakeholder management. When we manage our stakeholders, yeah, is our passengers, our investors, or the media, yeah. So basically, it has to be in place, yeah, the stakeholder management policy. And like in case of the Malaysian airline, basically it's the families of the victims, yeah. It will help us regain back the company's reputations, yeah, after the post-crisis. All right, so this is the lesson learned from us that I can share with you. The 3 areas is very important for us to regain back our corporate image, right? Okay, so conclusions from the two case studies, yeah, that I have shared earlier. Corporate reputations, Malaysia basically is influenced by the interplay of the governance, transparent, and public perception. These three areas we really need to look into it. Where in the final thoughts, yeah, by focusing these pillars, yeah, the governance, transparency, and public perceptions, most of the Malaysian companies uh build resilience, reputations, and gain competitive advantages. Yeah. So from the two cases, the importance of having a good governance, good transparency, and practicing of the public perceptions, yeah, is the main uh issues or crisis management that will help you to rebuild back your organization after the crisis, right? Okay, yep. I think I've done with the presentation. So is there any questions from rakan-rakan? Do we have questions?
Thank you, Miss Suhana, for your presentation. It's very intriguing. And okay, to all the students, apakah ada pertanyaan lainnya? Miss Suhana, maybe after this, could you share the presentation to me, and then I will
Yeah.
also deliver to all the students here.
Okay, sure. I will share the slide with you after this.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Maybe we can take a 5-minute break, waiting for maybe all the any student want to ask question. If there's no one asking the question, maybe we can take it as enough to end the session. Is that okay with you, Miss Suhana?
Yeah, sure. I'm okay if there is not a question. So I think that's all from me. So maybe I think you also shared some of the case studies, yeah, from the journals and whatnot, yeah. So to help you enhance your knowledge, yeah, for the two case studies that I have shared earlier.
Yeah, Pep. Thank you, Miss Suhana. Maybe we can wait like another 1 or 2 minutes if there are any question from all the student here. You can open your mic or just write it down in the chat box. Okay, maybe I think there is no more question from the students.
I have last question, Pak.
Ada Mas
Yeah.
Gideon mau bertanya? Ya,
Yeah, just last
please.
question, Miss Wana. I just, yeah, this is just a wondering question because what do you think about the discussion about the boycotts, especially when the brand in question is a US brand, but maybe in general, maybe in Malaysia, in general, they are a US brand, but maybe um, for the business, it was in a country like Indonesia and Malaysia. Do you have any topic or discussion about it?
Yeah, in Malaysia, we can see that when we boycott a certain brand, for example, the Starbucks, so we can see that lots of Starbucks cafe closed down. Yeah. There are two perceptions, yeah, because this is a very sensitive issues, yeah. Especially like those in Muslim, yeah. So the solidarity between the sisters and brothers are very high when we talk about the Palestine and also the Israeli issues, yeah. It depends. So for me, it depends on the perceptions, yeah. Like in Malaysia, I would say that in terms of the karyawan yang bekerja, especially to those like McDonald's, Starbucks, so some of them they might lost their job because of this boycott, and it give a negative impact, to the brand, especially to McDonald's is not really, I can see that it's not really harsh, for the Malaysian in boycotting them, because in Malaysia McDonald's is belong to the local company, But the Starbucks, even though it's belong to the local company, which is the Berjayas Group, the McDonald basically is belongs to the Archie restaurant, but McDonald is I would say that it's still safe because of the CSR that they have done, the Ronald McDonald House, So this is why I would say that when the crisis happened, the CSR is another good avenue, for us to protect the trust and also the reputations, So they don't really, in Malaysia, the MACD is not really I would say that they don't really boycott because of the CSR part that they have done to the Ronald McDonald. They help the children, the unfortunate children, So they can see that, oh, instead of the brand is the belongs and support, one of the parties, but on the other side, they can see that the good thing that the McDonald give. But Starbucks, even though they talk about the friendly environmental, and some of the Starbucks in Malaysia, they are helping the local farmers. For example, like the banana muffin, basically banana they basically get from the local farmers, but still people boycott this, I can see that the two different thing, one, the CSR more towards the environment, and the other CSR is more toward the humans, where they help the children, I would say that uh the human side of the CSR is more empathy from the people rather than when you talk about the environment. So this is my perceptions, okay.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Miss Suhana, for accommodating our students' question again and again. It's almost up to 2 hours. I think we have reached the end of our online session, Miss Suhana and all the students. Once again, I personally and also on behalf of UMN, we would like to say thank you to your presence, to your knowledge sharing for today's session. Thank you, Miss Suhana. We can give Miss Suhana the online reaction, the clapping reaction.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. So I hope that whatever I shared today will give a little bit of knowledge or informations, for the especially uh, semua karyawan yang berada di dalam virtual class. Thank you so much.
Okay. The honors is us, Miss Suhana. Once again, thank you. I will stop the recording.